You're such an asshole.
The world is incredibly lucky to have me. I really am a blessing to the world because not only am I the world's second best uncle, but I'd be number one if I had the resources that Uncle Mike had. I could be number one, but I don't have the resource. Uncle Mike runs a farm and he has kittens and always kittens and puppies. Every year there's a new litter. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Oh, he's got tractors and trucks and animal. You just can't beat it, right? I'm like the United Kingdom, right? You take out the superpowers, I got the second best military, or maybe it's China now. I don't know. But yeah, I can't beat Uncle Mike. But I'm damn. I could give you expert advice, the world's best advice on uncling, and I can also give you the world's best advice on traveling the American West. Although I'm sure there's somebody who's lived in Utah his entire life that would beat me. Hello, Aaron. I'm planning a road trip out to Las Vegas from Ohio in the fall. I need advice how late I could travel through Utah to Monument Valley without getting fucked by snow. Also, I need advice on a cheap hotel in Vegas for me and my dog, preferably with shitty 1970s furniture if possible. Um, I don't know because it's been because I've been in the Southern Command is coming up on 10 years. So I haven't had to get a hotel in Vegas in 10 years. I'm in Vegas to visit the Mojave and for some stargazing. Also, I need good places for walking my 63-year-old boomer ass and my 11-year-old dog. If you think you could use this for a video, fine. If not, shoot me a price or an email. Thanks. We'll keep you anonymous. I said, well, how late is in the season for you? September, October? Says, now he provides me more advice. I'll be driving a Toyota Yaris. Dude, I know a guy who had one of those, and everyone made fun of him. Those are not the worst cars. Those are like perfect for road tripping, assuming you're a smaller guy. You can't sleep in them. But yeah, they get good mileage. I'll be making stops on I-70 with the last one being Waukene, Kansas. After that, so far I got Oihato Monument Valley, then the Grand Canyon Visitor Center, south entrance from the east. Okay, so you're coming down 89 probably. Let me look up the Ohato. Is that Monument Valley? Is that the Indian name? Ohato. Yeah, Monument. Oh, oil. Is it O-L? Got O-I. Oihato. Yeah, that's by Kayenta. Yeah, that you just drive through. there's not much. I mean, they got some trails out there, but you kind of just drive through that. You come in from the east. After that, a hotel in Vegas because I can't take the dog to Hoover Dam. I'll probably hit some museums and art galleries. I'll let you know this. You don't actually have to go to the Hoover Dam. On the west side of the Hoover Dam. Now, they might stop you at maybe they would stop you because you got to go through a checkpoint. You don't actually go to the dam. You go to an overlook on the bridge with the dog. So maybe they wouldn't let you in there. But you can look at the dam from above, accessing a trail that goes up to the bridge on the west side of the dam. But you don't actually go to the dam. So you can see it. I don't know. The dam's kind of overrated. I mean, driving over. It's awesome to look at, but you don't need to actually be on the dam. I have no desire to walk into a casino. Probably hit some museums and art galleries in Vegas. I want it to be late enough for cool nights and tolerable days after the American tourist season. October, even into November, if snow will not be a problem. Oof. If I stand in crowds of Asians and Europeans, that will be a plus for me. A couple of high-end restaurants because I'll be fasting several days in between meals. My travel window will be 12 days unless I tell my work to fuck off, which is a big possibility. Okay, so let me get to Waukene, Kansas to see what angle you're coming from. Probably on Interstate 70. Oh, Waukene, Kansas. That's a small little rink-a-dink town. You're on 70. You're going to be coming into Colorado. Southern end on Denver. So here's the thing. I'll explain the main factor you got to worry about. Yes, it is going to be snow, but the problem with you coming out there in fall, and the later the fall, the higher the risk this is that the passes are going to close or they're going to have a lot of snow and there's going to be traffic. Your intention, as I see it, is you're going to go through Denver. So forget getting into Utah and Monument Valley and all that. Your concern is going to be the Eisenhower Pass, which is where Interstate 70 goes up to the peak at Tides Park in the Colorado Rockies, then goes down. And so what I'm going to recommend you do is you're going to have to be flexible. And you're going to have to pay attention to weather, and you're going to have to pay attention to the passes. The main pass being that Eisenhower Pass. Because I face the same choice when I'd be driving out to the west during fall. You could tell with the traffic alone. I mean, the pass would be open, but there'll be traffic jams all the way back down. And if it's that bad, what you do then is you just go south to Albuquerque, and you hang a right at Albuquerque and cut over on 40 into Vegas. So what I would set a time and a date that you would go. I would try to go as early in fall as you possibly can, because that will lessen the chances of snow. And you're going to have to wing it. You're going to have to play it by ear. What is the weather at the pass at Eisenhower? And then depending on which way you go, what does the weather look like elsewhere? Now, the other factor you're going to have to pay attention to is, snow, but I had this happen earlier this spring, and that is altitude. I had a dream. I have a dream. I had a dream. See, the GF went and spent time with the family. Like, get the fuck out of here, woman. Me time, man time. Get your crazy titties out of here. I was like, you know what? That'd be a good time to go ride my motorcycle in the interior of Utah, right? Go to, was it Patagooch, Capitol Reef and all that. Start looking at so it's like 85 in Vegas. Oh, it can't be that much colder in Utah. I'm like, why is it 43 degrees at Bryce Canyon? Bryce Canyon is 9,000 feet up. So there's a lot of these high plains where, if you're at 3,000 feet, like let's take a look at Moab. What's the altitude of Moab? Elevation Moab. Yeah, even Moab's up there a little. It's 4,000 feet for Moab. But still a 5,000 foot difference. So Moab, it could be nice and roasty toasty. You go 5,000 feet up, and you're not going up what seems to be an obvious mountain. You're gradually going up. You're like, why is it cold? Why is there snow up here? I don't get it. Why can't I breathe? Where's the oxygen? You gradually went up onto a high plateau. And now you got, don't worry about the oxygen. But also, and it's cold and there's snow. So the good thing about Moab, the route you described, you're essentially following the Colorado and Green Rivers, which means it's in a valley, which means it's lower elevation. You're not going into that center part of Utah, but you do got to make it over the Rockies. And that's going to be your main hurdle. And so no guarantee, but the weather should be warmer in Moab and all the way down to Monument Valley, Mexican Hat, and Hoover Dam, Grand Canyon. Although you got to go back up into Flagstaff, and Flagstaff is about 6,500 feet. So that's what you're going to have to worry about. You're going to need to pay attention to weather in different towns you're driving through at altitude. Because I think the only real pass you're going over is going to be the Eisenhower. Then it goes downhill. You get to Grand Junction, and you're just following the Colorado. You may not realize it, but let's say you make it over the hill or the Rocky Mountains. You're basically now following the Colorado River all the way to Vegas. So you're generally going downhill most of this time, except for instances where you got to get up out of it when you're going to go to Flagstaff because you're going to go around the southern end. But I'm thinking, yeah, Grand Junction's Colorado River. You get into Moab, you're going to take 191. 191 is going to be your shot. That's going to be where the shit starts to happen because you want to go to Monument Valley, but there's a ton of great shit before you even get there. I'd say even more impressive shit. But you're following the Colorado River pretty much all the way to Vegas. So unless you had intentions of going back out of that valley, oh, I wonder what, I want to see Bryce Canyon. What's the weather going to be like? So Denver, or where's that, Wakini? That's still a hike, man. It's to Wakini, Kansas to Grand Junction. See how long of a drive that is. Oh, 8 hours. That's not bad. You can make it to Grand Junction in that time. All right. Wakini to, how far are you going that first day? Wakini to, let's just do Columbus. That's central to Ohio. 13 hours. Yeah, that first day you got 13. Yeah, if you could do 13, 14 hours, you can make it to, it won't be that far. Okay, so Wakini is a good drop. So you're in Wakini. That's the only hotel you're going to schedule. And then based on the weather that day or maybe a couple days before, you're going to make a decision. Am I going to go? Ideally, you go through on 70, continue to Grand Junction, make it to 191, look it up on a map, and you're basically just going to follow 191 all the way down to Kayenta, Monument Valley, hook up to 89, go south into Flagstaff, get yourself to the southern end of Flagstaff. I'd recommend dropping into Sedona if you can, just for an hour, just to check it out, and then get back out and make your way to the Grand Canyon. But if you can't make it, let me get the map here. For whatever reason, Interstate 70 is closed or there's way too much traffic. Now you're going to have to go through the southern route, which means you're going to drop down into Albuquerque. Well, yeah, you could also go through Salida. It's getting over those Rockies. There's like 3 ways to get over the Rockies. Ideally, Interstate 70. Well, 4 now that I think about it. Okay. Just bear. I'm doing this so when you get there, you're flexible enough. You're not confused what to do, but you may have to drive a lot. Okay. We don't know what the weather's going to be. There are 4 ways over the Rockies from Wakini. Ideally, if you could get closer to Denver than Wakini, it's going to add some extra time that you don't have to make up the next day. So let's go from the northern route to the southern route. If the interstate is closed at 70, right? And there's snow to the south, which is going to block out your southern entrances over the Rockies, you can go up into Wyoming, hit Interstate 80, cut over, and drop south on 191. I believe it's, Rock Springs. There it is, 191. All right. That unto itself is a pretty drive. Not getting to Rock Springs. Interstate 80 through Wyoming is going to be the boring shit. But if for whatever reason Interstate 70 is shut down or too slow, and the Interstate 80 is open and there's no wind advisory and snow and like there's no snowstorm up there, I'd shoot up to Cheyenne, Wyoming, cut over on 80, and over in Rock Springs, drop south on 191. The key thing is 191. You want to get to 191. And right off the bat there, you're following the Green River down, Flaming Gorge, Vernal, Utah, which was probably not on your itinerary. I cannot recommend enough going to Dinosaur National Monument to look at their dinosaur display. That's a must, man. So like if the northern route was open, I'd go that way, right? And Interstate 70 is shut down. All right. You take 191, Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and I had to go all the way over there on my motorcycle, went up into the mountains. There's a pass near Price. I believe that's Price. Helper. Where's Price? Oh, there's Price. Yeah, so you got to go Castle Gate. You'd also want to look and make sure there's no snow in Castle Gate, Utah. You're gonna take 191 down. I guess you could also take 40. That's the way I went up, and get into Grand Junction. But if you make 191 from Rock Springs, Wyoming, you're going south, you get to Vernal, you get to make a split. You could go right at 191 or left on 40. I'd look at the traffic at Castlegate. Otherwise, 40 down to Grand Junction is viable too. The main goal is that you want to get to Moab. All right. And trust you me, you want to take Highway 128. You just write these all down by Cisco, Utah. You want to go into Moab that way. Cisco, Dewey, right? You want to go that way. 191 by Crescent Junction is fine if you're in a rush, but take the extra time to go onto 128 and follow the Colorado River into Moab. You'll appreciate it. Moab, I'm going to tell you what you don't know. You want to go to Moab. That's more important than Monument Valley. Monument Valley is going to be quick, man, unless you want to hike through it, which just look at it. There it is. You have the Forrest Gump experience. I would spend a day or two in Moab, and I would spend the money on a hotel. It seems like you like cheaper hotels, 70s hotels. You're gonna that's good because Moab's really expensive. You want to at least look around Canyonlands National Park. That's my favorite national park. I think it is the prettiest part of the United States. And get yourself through Arches. You may have to get an appointment or schedule your visit. Hopefully it's off season. You don't have to worry about that. But I'm forgetting the other stuff, but Arches you just drive through. Moab probably just going to drive through too, but there's some hikes you can do as well if you wanted. So that now gets you to 191 and Moab that way. Now we're going to put a pin in Moab. We're going to leave you there. You're not going anywhere. But let's go back to our mappy map. All right. That's assuming you come in through Wyoming. 70 is closed. 70 is open. You shoot right over on 70 into Grand Junction, take 120 down into Moab. You're back at Moab. If the snow is to the north, 80 is shut down. 70 is shut down. What is it, 160? 160. That's, yep, there it is. I knew there was I visit our good buddy Price down there. 160, assuming that ain't being affected by snow, you're going to take that and come into the south of Moab, hooking up to 191. That's your other passover. And that's not unpleasant to drive through either. I love the town of Cortez, Colorado. It's not, it's a small little town. I like it. Nothing particularly great about the town. It's just, I prefer it. There is Mesa Verde National Park, overrated. You want to go to Canyon of the Ancients. If you go to Cortez, you have to go and just take a quick little hike into the Canyon of the Ancients. You enter in the south, you got to walk maybe a mile north. It's not too high, and you get to see legit and way more ancient Indian Pueblo dwellings. Way cooler and free. So then from Cortez, then you go and hook up to 191. Yes, you're going to drive up to Moab. Yes, you're going to look at Canyonlands. Yes, you're going to look at Arches. It's a little bit of a detour. Then the only other, like if it goes to shit, right, and all of Colorado is shot, your next best bet is to drop down to Albuquerque and take 550. And that's going to be a long angled shot, basically back into Durango or Cortez and get to Moab. That's going to be a long day, man. But you may decide at that point, okay, I don't need to see Moab. The rock, all of Colorado is shut down. I got to drop south to Albuquerque. I'm going to cut over. Maybe you save Moab for another time. And then you could go straight, whatever the quickest is, from Albuquerque over to Monument Valley. It looks like 64. Is that it? Yeah, but the 64, you want to do Kayenta. Yeah, it's 163, I believe, is the view. But yeah, you're 64 will get you there quickly. But I believe 163 is the actual view you're looking for. So, weather, worst case scenario, weather prevents you from going through Colorado. You go through Albuquerque and maybe you save Moab for another day, or any of the other 3 routes north of that. You visit your time in Moab. Now you're making it down 163 down to Kayenta, and then you see Monument Valley. You got to drive through it. I'm sure they have some trails you can hike around, but it's meh. All right, there's Tuba City, homeless people in Tuba City. You get to 89, now you're dropping down to Flagstaff. There's Flagstaff, and you do your Grand Canyon tour on the southern end. I would check the weather. Check the weather because it's an hour drive from the interstate up to the park. And the last time I went to the Grand Canyon, it was fogged over. You couldn't see it. It's right there. It's 5 fucking feet in front of you. You couldn't see it because it was fog. So your secondary plan would be to go to Sedona, look at it, look at all the old people. Oh my God, look at all the rich liberal women who sucked the life out of their husbands and took all their money, and their hippy dippy chicky babes selling their crystals. All right. I say Sedona's worth checking out. And then you hightail it to Vegas, right? All roads lead to Flagstaff in this point. There's Boulder City. There's the Hoover Dam. All right. And this entire time, you're going to be looking at weather and snow, right? And you may have to move. Your high points are going to be flat. I mean, check the route the entire way. Flagstaff, what's it called? The Eisenhower Pass. And then if you're going straight south to Albuquerque, Raton, Raton. I don't know if that's New Mexico or Colorado, but you got to go high up. There's a pass you got to go up before you get into New Mexico, and that might be a little risky. All that will leave you to figure out the mathematics on that one. Now, our hero has arrived in Las Vegas. You get in Monument Valley, cheap hotel in Vegas, dog. Mojave should be fine. So the 70s hotel, I don't know, man. Do some research on the internet. I don't know where there's a shitty 70s hotel. I could tell you the exterior architecture. If you're looking for an actual 70s hotel that's built in the 70s, go to the Westgate because it's got 70s exterior. It was built in the 70s. Pretty sure. But the interior is all new. I don't know if you're gonna find an old unless there's a motif, like a purposely designed interior 70s hotel. So I would try and research on the internet, but one does not come to mind for me right now. You advise travel to Monument Valleys? No. As for cheap hotels in Vegas, you're going to be off strip. Well, maybe not. You may want to look at staying in Boulder. Well, there's an idea. Okay. Boulder City has hotels. Don't quote me on this. And they shouldn't have their resort fees, which is just bullshit. You should be able to find a hotel in Boulder City. And they have like older motels, like the old school motels that are just a strip like that. Maybe that's more your cup of tea. If you don't want to do Vegas, like the casinos and all that shit, I'd look at getting a hotel in Boulder City or a motel. I don't know if you're going to get what was the movie with Robert De Niro? A casino, 1970s theme kind of thing going on. But there are going to be older motels out there that might be closer to what you're looking for. Shitty 70s furniture. You could go to North Vegas and find yourself a real shitty hotel, but I'd bring a gun. I wouldn't recommend you stay on the north side of Vegas. South entrance, hotel in Vegas, kick a dog. Probably hit some museums and art galleries in Vegas. I have no desire to walk into a casino. I want to be late enough for cool nights. Oh, you'll have cool nights, tolerable. Yeah, I mean, look, the September's fine. If your main concern is the weather in Vegas, September is almost ideal. The edge of the, I mean, it can get hot during the daytime, and you're going out to the Mojave. I would look more at the Mojave Desert for temperatures. But yeah, late September, that's nice, man. It's real nice. And the great thing about Vegas or the West in general, let's say it is a warm day and you want to go for a hike, well, just go up into the mountains, right? Go up by mountains. So you'll be in Vegas. If it's too hot in Vegas, go to Mount Charleston. That entire area has hikes that are higher up and much cooler up there. Cool enough nights, October, even November. Yeah, October will be cool enough in Vegas. Snow will not be a problem. Standing in crowds, Europeans, and a couple high-end restaurants. Okay, high-end restaurants. Do you want high-end or do you want good? I'm going to give you a handful of restaurants. I hope you like Italian. D'Agostino's. Let me make sure I got this. This is on the west side. D'Agostino. I'm going to keep you off the strip. D'Agostino. Yeah, just the way. What? What? They're closed? What? Is this the place? That's the guy. They were going through a renovation. Well, son of a gun. Okay, when you come out there, hopefully they're open. D'Agostino's, it's over on the west side. What is it on? Forget the address. Buffalo Drive, west side of Vegas. In addition to, not if that ain't open. In addition to, mean you're going there, Cappo's. CAPPO, also on the west side of Vegas. That's awesome. I'd almost make that your first stop. It's a speakeasy, set up an appointment or a reservation there. Bob Taylor's Ranch House, northwest side of Vegas. There you can just walk in. It ain't fancy, but it's probably the coolest steakhouse you're ever going to go to. If you like the 70s motif, right? You like the 70s motif? The Golden Steer. Get this, make sure I got it right. Yes, the Golden Steer. That is where the Rat Pack would go. That's off of Sahara, I believe. Yeah, there's Sahara. You need to set reservations months in advance. So I would look into it now. The sooner you can figure out when you're going to be in Vegas, the sooner you can set yourself a reservation for that place. But you're going to have to deal with downtown Vegas. You have to deal with traffic. The good news, that's not too bad. You get right off the interstate, and you don't have to actually go to the strip. What else? Cool nights and tolerable days. A couple high-end restaurants, be fasting days in between meals. This isn't like a fancy restaurant or nothing, but you want some good Jewish food? The Bagel Cafe, also on the west side. East side, there's some lacking on the east side. The Bagel Cafe. Or Bagel Mania. I prefer Bagel Cafe. The menu is this long. What else is out there? See, I just don't go to the strip. And that whole, you land at the airport or whatever. Celebrity chef that no one's ever heard of opens up new dipshittily named restaurant at the fancy hotel on the strip. Escobar. Oh my God. Oh, 5-star renowned chef. And it's bankrupt 6 months later. So like, don't fall for that shit, right? I'm giving you the stuff off strip. I'm giving you the good shit. I'm trying to think of something else that, oh, Peppermill. You got to go to the Peppermill. Oh yeah, I got to go to the Pepper. That's worth it. Go not on Sunday brunch. Don't go regular times. Try to go off peak hours. You definitely don't want to get stuck behind people there. I would go to the Peppermill. That's definitely worth it. Trying to think what else we got. Yeah, that should take care of you. Plus couple high-end restaurants because it'll be a fasting day. My travel window will be 12 days unless I tell my work to phone is a big possibility. All your opinions, thank you. Hotel, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think we got you covered. I think that'll be doing it. And then the problem you face is you're gonna going back, you're gonna spend a week out there. Well, it's getting colder. Now you get to figure it out again. So I wouldn't commit to any particular route to get to Vegas. And I wouldn't commit to any particular route going back. Let me tell you a story. Now I'm gonna tell you a story. I had my motorcycle when I only had one. It was down in Vegas. A friend of mine at the military base, he says, "Oh, we'll leave it at the military base." So I go pick it up in the It is mid-May. Mid-May, right? Me and the GF, we're going to ride the motorcycle from Vegas back to Minneapolis. Going to do the great ride. I spent $320 on one hotel. This is 10 years ago in Moab, right? Moab is like my temple. Okay, that's my Mecca. We leave Vegas, and for that hour and a half we're in the valley, it was fine. Once we got up into St. George, Utah and cut over, things got real cold. And we got to we cut over through Kanab, we got 129 or 191. We're shooting up into the southern end of Moab. And I got hit with about 2.5 hours of a rainstorm. And it was about 37 degrees. It was miserable. Absolutely miserable. And I'm like, how the hell does this happen late May? And that's just the weather out there, man. You go, if you look at 191 runs north-south, not even 40 miles to the west of that, it was all snow because you shoot up about 2,000 feet. It was all snow. They shut down late fucking May. Temperatures in St. George are around 90 at this time. Late fucking May, they shut down all the roads up on the plateau there because the snowstorm. It was snow up there and we just got dumped with rain. It can happen almost any time. And so weather and altitude are the things you're going to want to look for. And so I honestly, if you're in Vegas, the ideal shot is to go back home, 15 up to 70, 70 over the Eisenhower Pass. If not, 40 over to 25 and up. Although there's an angle you can take, because I've done it. You shoot at an angle. You take 40 to Tucumcari, and you shoot up on some angle. You go through a town of Liberal, Kansas. I just remembered that, shooting up at an angle. And that'll get you quickest back to Ohio. But yeah, it's going to be altitude and weather. Keep an eye on it. Be flexible. And that's what you can do in Vegas. All right, we got any super chats? How do we have 6 super chats on this thing? Dre, reliable Dre, $5. Don't forget to see Cappy's favorite places: 1, the Carlson School of Management; 2, Brokeback Mountain; and 3, Edina Cappy is Carlson #1 famous alumni. He will not be going through the shithole of self-loathing white people known as Minnesota. He will not be going through there. My Truth, the King, $2. Should have taken that right at Albuquerque. Yeah, he has to take a right at Albuquerque. If he's dropping south, there's not much to see in Albuquerque. I like Albuquerque. There's Sandia Mountain. That's about it, though. There's not much to Albuquerque. And you won't even make it to Albuquerque. You're going to hang a right on 550 even before. You'll see Albuquerque. It'll be down in front of you. You hang a right at 550. And you go past an IHOP, just to let you know. Toasty Pasty. Kelly's Heroes is better than... I will allow it. You're wrong, but I could see why you would think the phenomenal movie of Kelly's Heroes is better than Die Hard. It is an outstanding movie. Steve Duncan, $2. Oh, Reconnaissance Men grab motels in Monticello. That reminds me, link below is my book, Reconnaissance Man. Now, that's more for like where you should live in the United States, but obviously it's the West because as far as I'm concerned, there's America and then there's everything else that is east of the Mississippi and California. Those aren't America. That's the boring part of the country. Monticello, I don't think it was in Monticello. I was in the other town. I'm familiar with 191. I just don't remember the town. There's Monticello. Oh, I did stay at Monticello. That's right. No, wait. No, I didn't. It was by Wilson Arch. Come on, Aaron. What's the name of this town? Maybe I did stay in Monticello. Oh, it is. I have stayed in Monticello. Yeah, that was during COVID, and Utah wasn't shut down. So we could get like drinks and there was a bar. But once you cross the border into Colorado, like everything was shut down. Like Cortez, it was sad. Cortez is a fun town, but it was just dead. So, yeah. Hey, now this guy's an ultra marathoner. He runs all over the West. Here, he knows. Go mid-October, you can see Moab, Capitol Reef. Yeah, but if he doesn't have that time. You're right. He could go through all that. But once you go up to 8,000 feet, yeah, the weather could be great. Capitol Reef, Escalante, Bryce Canyon, Zion, and the Grand Canyon, all by staying on Highway 24, 12, and 89. Okay, he can, but he's going to have to. If he wants to go to the southern end of the Grand Canyon, now if you went to the northern end of the Grand Canyon outside of Kanab, he could hit all that in southern Utah. And I'd strongly recommend he does it, then go over to St. George, drop into Vegas. Weather's going to have to be very compliant. Weather's going to have to be very compliant. Odds of heavy snow will be low. Right. No, if he can, what I'd recommend, you're not wrong, Frank. If the weather is beautiful, I'm not saying he wants to see Monument Valley too, but when he comes out of Monument Valley, out of Cayente, he's got a choice to turn right on 89 or left on 89. Left going Flagstaff, his intended route, southern viewpoint of the Grand Canyon. If he just wants to see the Grand Canyon, but it's beautiful weather in southern Utah, I'd shoot north on 89, go right, see the northern part of the Grand Canyon. It's still the same hole. Unless he was planning on hiking it, it won't really matter. You're just going to look at it for about 10, 15 minutes. Like, there you go. But yeah, I do Zion. I do Bryce, Grand Escalante, Capitol Reef. Yeah, that whole area there. But he may not have the time. And he wants to go stargaze. Your goals and his goals aren't the same. I agree with you. Weather permitting, I'd be lost in southern Utah the entire time. Vic, €5. For Europe, the Balkans, Eastern Europe, and the Baltics are a godsend for reconnaissance. Avoid Western Europe and Ukraine, Belarus for obvious reasons. Yeah, I just need some. I want to rest, man. I just got done being sick. Finally doing some light hikes and getting to the gym. And now I'm looking at a motorcycle ride out to Reno. I'm like, oh. Cyberbully, $10 generous. Coldest part of winter is basically the only good weather in southern Arizona these days. Well, you know where Bisbee is then. Doesn't even get chilly here in Tucson anymore. Used to when I was a kid, still pretty hot in December now. Okay, so yeah, you're in Tucson. See that I'm not against Tucson. I'm not against southern Arizona at all, but unless you're going to go on to Mexico, there's no real reason to be down there. Bisbee's fun. What's it called? Tombstone, overrated. Holy shit, was that just here's the town where it happened and you got to pay to see everything? Like, fuck you. Just go watch the movie. I'm in my prime. All right, Reconnaissance Man, book below on how to reconnoiter the United States so you know where to live, not in leftist Democrat shitting shitholes. We'll see you guys later, Toodles.